I'm Joshua Carter of Curtis High School, and I started my project on drug use in high schools, particularly public schools on Staten Island. And we go to Curtis High School, but we want it to be as unbiased as possible. So we got responses from other schools, teachers, IB directors, students, athletes, all different types of students, all different groups. And they all basically said that they don't feel like the issue could be resolved because they're accustomed to seeing it every single day. But we think differently. And our call to action, our resolution, is going to be to have rehab to cleanse the mind. And we're going to have extracurricular activities and ask the students things that interest them and that they want to do to keep them out of trouble and kill time. As you can see, 1 in every 5 students use drugs in school, which is horrible, obviously. These are 12th graders, sophomores and freshmen, so you can see that it affects everyone from young to old, and it's obviously a problem. But we obviously think that everyone has to buy in to really to get over this issue. But with the help of just asking someone simply, like, what interests you? What can you do to help yourself? What can help you stay out of trouble? What do you like to do? You know, you can really resolve the issue. And that's what we think is the best thing to stop and resolve drug use in public high schools. Thank you.
This is Dr. Ife Akinseye Damon, founder and CEO of the Community-Based Education Movement, and I am so excited because today our nonprofit, the Global Academy for Community-Based Education, is hosting its first annual Community Advocacy Project Expo. There are over 100 students in attendance today who are going to be showcasing how they've used academic and 21st century skills to learn about and improve their communities. These students during the school year, they've had to identify an issue that negatively impacts one of their communities. Then they had to conduct research on that issue. And then this is the real magic. They had to take action towards change. And so today they're talking about the actions that they've taken. And they're also having a call to action for the community to join them in their causes. And so I am so excited to be here. This is a dream come true. And I hope that if you're not here today, that you could come for next year's. Thank you.
Hi, so I'm Pat Fasano. I'm the coordinator of Curtis High School Nursing Assistant and Practical Nursing Program.
I am Lauren Rybarzik. I'm one of the instructors also for Nurse Assistant and Practical Nursing.
And I'm Barbara DiStefano, also Nursing Assistant and Practical Nursing Instructor.
And today's a very important day for the nursing program. During the last semester, we have partnered with Lambda Kappa Mu to identify and bring community awareness to Black maternal mortality, and creating this health disparity is something that we want to put an end to, and also revise the way the community sees our call to action. We want to give a voice to a cause that sometimes has never been dealt with. We also partnered with the Curtis community to also bring up other community issues that we feel need community awareness. Thank you. Today, the Curtis Nursing Program is bringing awareness to a community issue that we feel needs a voice. Black maternal mortality creates a health disparity amongst our community, and it's something that we have to be aware of. And us, along with the Curtis community, have identified several issues that need to be addressed. And it's an important day for us here. Thank you.
Good morning. We're here at the Community Health Park, and we are presenting our posters on maternal mortality rates in America and specifically in New York State. Our poster was done on healthcare system failure, which highlights the problems that are occurring in society with the healthcare system failure and what can be done to prevent it and improve the issue. Now over here, we have perinatal mental health problems that occur with mothers, and that also leads to maternal mortality rates increasing over the years, and also ways to prevent the issue and why it's important in our community. Thank you.
My name is Mark. I'm from Curtis High School, and I'm also a part of the nursing program, and our project here is an investigation board to solve the problem of healthcare negligence towards IPOC.
My name is Alex Tavakero from Curtis High School, and during this project we learn about many different experiences from many different people, a lot of which had different encounters which negligence played a part in, basically.
So we started off with a survey to a general survey to see people's like situations and what they think of the current situation. And we got data of like how many people believe that, like how big this issue is, and then we use that data to help tackle our issue through petitions, contacting politicians, local politicians.
My name is Michael Ture, and my issue is medical invalidation. It's a root cause of overall issue, Black maternal and infant mortality. So, what's medical invalidation? Good question. So, medical invalidation is where healthcare providers dismiss, minimize, or otherwise do not take patients' concerns seriously. It is a major issue affecting the Black community, particularly Black women. So, as you can see from this chart, Black women are dying at 3 times the rate as their racial counterparts. And I did a survey and asked the community if this is an important issue in our community, and 81% of them said yes. So my reach. So this is a poem that I wrote, and I wrote in the perspective of a Black woman telling healthcare providers what they want them to do concerning their concerns, right? And it's basically just like a woman saying that, you know, they need help, basically. And this is some research that I did. I found something very interesting. Serena Williams actually went through something very similar to this. She recalled like screaming so many times before the doctors could even listen to her. And so how can you help, right? So you can help by watching the video of this poem and just like liking and sharing it to as many people as you can. And yeah, that's basically it. Thank you for stopping by.
Hi, I'm Chelsea, and as you may see, our topic is for C-section. Our main topic was about Black maternal and infant mortality. We chose this topic because we thought it was something that not a lot of people were aware of. Through this project, we would like to inspire people to advocate for women, especially Black women who are the most affected.
My name is Jessie. Just the charts here. The first chart explains how. The first chart explains how people are not well informed about for C-sections, and the second shows how a lot of people think that not a lot of people are collaborating on this issue, and this third chart is about how they mainly agree that it should be addressed in the community.
Hi, my name is Jenny May Perez. Communities that are impacted by this issue are Black mothers and Black infant babies.
My name is Ariana, and all throughout our poster we have the color green, and green represents good health. Also, throughout our poster we have frogs, which represent in Egyptian mythology fertility and birth. Here we have the white string, and the white string represents connection, unity, and purity. For our call to action, we also made an informative website to inform others about the issue of forced C-sections.
I guess the core thing that we found about forced C-sections is sometimes it can be a tricky topic to talk about, which is probably why it's not addressed as much in the community, because
so many Black women are not aware of their rights, so they don't seek for help.
Hey, my name is Angelina Kwan Mersick.
And my name is Kayla Velasquez.
And our topic is the media's influence on Black maternal and infant health. Our topic focuses on false information and lack of media coverage that negatively impacts Black women and their babies.
To provide change, fast forward, where we get our news from, many people in our survey we gave, many people said that they got their news from social media like TikTok and Instagram, and on those platforms there's a lot of false information that is spread about topics like Black maternal and infant health. So what we've done to try to make change is we made a social media page, which is at voiceofcolor_BMIH, and we provide information such as to help black women during pregnancy, like topics like preeclampsia and different health issues that they may have, and also just spread awareness and try to give the right information to people on social media.
Hi, my name is Rosemary. My name is Jocelyn. And today our topic will be Black maternity mortality due to a lack of knowledge on the patient's part. Maternity and infant mortality is a global issue that negatively affects communities in New York, the United States, and all around the world.
Our call to action was advocating and raising awareness on this issue by creating an Instagram account that provides numerous educational resources to new and future BIPOC mothers in order to avoid health problems that could be prevented but are usually not due to a lack of knowledge. In this graph, you can see that black women are the most affected by this issue.
And here is our QR code where you can follow our Instagram, and it has information about the whole project and information about things that mothers should know or symptoms that they're not aware of.
Hello, my name is Zubaida Bello.
Hi, I'm Regan Amamo.
I'm Safiatou Touré.
And our root cause is the lack of health insurance in the African American community. Our call to action was to write a letter to Cedar Sinai Medical Center for discriminating against an African American woman due to her lack of health insurance. So we did a survey, and our data shows that the community really does not know about the lack of health insurance in the African American women community. So this letter was written to change that.
Our qualitative data shows that roughly 1 in 5 African Americans are insured.
About 60% of black mothers do not receive any treatment for prenatal care due to the lack of health care insurance.
Hi, my name is Kayla, and me and my classmate worked on a project about stress during pregnancy affecting infants, and we think this is a very important topic that many need to bring awareness to.
Hi, my name is Lindsay, and we think this is a very important issue since many, when think about stress during pregnancy, don't think about the mother and only think about the infant. So we want to raise awareness for the babies facing this issue, since they can be born prematurely with low birth weight and also possibly develop cardiovascular diseases later in life.
Hi, good morning. I'm Louise Nixon, and our president, Sonia Byfield Lane, is the president for Lambda Kappa Mu Sorority, Lambda Chapter. And we are really delighted to be a participant at today's program. Lambda Kappa Mu Sorority has been around for 84 years, and Lambda Chapter has been in existence for 75 years, serving the Staten Island community with all types of endeavors. We also have a youth group, our National Copels, which we train, educate, and encourage young women to go out and become business professionals. So it's a wonderful thing for us to be participating at today's event to encourage some young people to follow in the footsteps of our founder, Florence K. Norman Williamson. Thank you.
And the organizer for today's program, Dr. Ife Damon, is actually a member of Lambda Kappa Mu Sorority, Inc. So we're here also to support her in her new endeavor for this education expo that she has here today for the students.
Hello, my name is Damaris.
Hi, my name is Iviana, and our board is about how stereotypes significantly impact Black maternal mortality and how this is a deeply concerning public health issue. So many healthcare providers hold a bias that Black mothers have a higher pain tolerance than most, and because of that, that leads to undertreatment of their pain and dismissal of their symptoms.
Additionally, the thought about mothers being less compliant and uneducated leads to inadequate prenatal and postnatal care. These biases, additionally with socioeconomic disparities, lead to inadequate care. So this calls for urgent reforms of
retraining medical professionals and programs to help equity-focused programs.
Hi, I'm Lele. Me and George worked on this poster, The Social Effects of the World. So we basically made a poster about mental illness and suicide and talking about how we can help prevent mental health and mental health illnesses and problems like bipolar disorder, suicide, depression, and other things. Do you want to add anything?
My name is George, and basically we were talking about the social effects of the world because there's a lot of things going on in the world that people don't know could be related to mental health and all of that, and social anxiety, because people can't speak up for themselves, if they have social anxiety because they're scared, for real. And yeah.
No, so basically our poster was about how we could help prevent mental health problems. Obviously, like I just said earlier, bipolar disorders, suicide, depression. Many people in the world have overlooked mental health and mental illnesses for so long. For instance, where is it? Many people don't even really Today, mental health has actually become more of an issue. People have started to learn more about it. But in the early in the 90s, obviously, it wasn't a big thing. You could go up to one of your parents and say, "Hey, I feel depressed," and your parents would probably just bypass it, saying that you're sad. But now we're starting to bring awareness to mental health, saying that if I'm feeling sad, I should talk about it to someone, that it actually might be a problem. So this is this is our poster, trying to ask questions, see how people are feeling, ask about their mental health, ask about their other friends' mental health, and help people who really need it.
My name is Jaden. The problem that I spoke about was racism, and I spoke about it because I think that there's just a lot of racism in our communities, and not just our community specifically, but globally. And so I really wanted to speak about it because I see racism not just in my own community, all around the world. So I said I wanted to change by I wanted to not be normalized, because I feel like nowadays racism is kind of normalized, and it's kind of seen as either popular or cool. People have prejudice over someone's skin color or ethnic group. And then the problem about racism is it's just very discriminatory, and it's towards one specific race, and people they assume one specific thing just because of the way somebody looks or their ethnic group. And then I say it really does impact the community because as you can see, not just here, but through the quantitative data, if you can't see, it says these are the charts for the people that were incarcerated that because of racial disparities, and this was Hispanic, other, and Black are all higher than the white, and as well as women, not just men. And then unemployment of Black and white Americans. The unemployment rates of African Americans were definitely much higher than the white Americans, and the action that I want to take to help reduce this issue is just, this is part of it. I wanted to kind of get it across, kind of tell the community what all I really have to say about racism and how it really impacts what it does to us, how it brings us down as a community. And I wanted to show the resources and the analytics that I had on racism, and just kind of spread the word. My call to action right here was my QR code here. It's something called the Innocence Project, and the Innocence Project is a project. It's a petition where it fights for minorities or racism in communities. So I really wanted to talk about that, and so I signed that petition. And I would like other people to sign it too as well.
Hi, my name is Sienna.
My name is Ava.
And we did our project about weapon violence in New York City high schools. We find it's a big problem in the community, especially on Staten Island. We found that in 2019 to 2020, there was a big upscale in weapon violence in high schools. And personally, I feel that it's a big problem because going to school, I wouldn't want to have to worry about my life or my friend's life.
I agree with Sienna over here. I agree. It's a very bad problem, and there's no place of fear in high school. And we decided to find a call of action to use a petition to stop selling assault weapons to younger students or teenagers in general, because that is the problem, and that's how they're getting the weapons into the school. and it needs to be stopped. We worked in our classroom with our teacher in English class. We used researches from different websites, and we found pictures online from New York City high schools and different crimes and quotes from Wagner and Port and etc.
My name is Matthew, and my talk today is about depression and suicide. It's been like a recurring issue. It can happen all over the world. Someone in your home could be suffering from depression. Someone you know could have had someone close to them die from suicide. As you can see, since 2010, depression rates have increased by 144%, and suicide rates have increased by 58%. Now, suicide is the 11th leading reason to deaths, not only in the United States, but it's also the highest rate of death in the world. At least, or the suicide rate of men has significantly been higher than women. And along with depression rates, there are at least 21 million people in the United States alone who suffer from depression. That is at least 8.4% of our country. And as you can see, there are ways of avoiding depression. Some common ways are taking time for yourself, listening to music, doing activities that you like, that you love. Ways that you can help prevent suicide for others is to check up on your friends or a family member, talk with people, and overall, avoiding depression can also lead avoiding to suicide. And another way of making sure that's possible is take some medications like antidepressants, which is a form of drug that increases neurotransmitters like serotonin and noradrenaline in the brain that give positive thoughts and reimburse your mind. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Melissa, and I did gun violence. Me and my group mates who are not here decided to do this because we felt that this is a really big issue nowadays because of how easy access guns are. And we did a survey asking different people different questions, mostly teachers, asking them questions about how they feel about gun violence. And they feel that 18 to 25-year-olds are most affected, which I agree with. Even younger people are affected with it. And the action we want to take to improve this is by having people sign a petition to help stop gun violence. And I feel that the Second Amendment should be changed because it is so vague and people misinterpret it, and this allows gun violence to be it allows it to be more gun violence. And to help stop gun violence, I feel that we definitely need stricter gun laws, and I feel like we need to have stricter background checks. Even though in New York there is a strict gun law, people still have very easy access to guns, and I feel like that is an issue. And there has been many school shootings, and I feel that we need to limit guns, all of them, and just limit them altogether.
Hi, my name is Princeton Pengba, and we are in a group about teenage mental health. The main reason we decided to pick teenage mental health is because we feel like it's an issue that's not really talked about in our society. Like, it's not really frowned upon, but at the same time, it's not really mainly spoken about. We feel like we can make it more verbal and make other peers of our age more comfortable speaking about it with other peers. And because we don't think that a lot of students will want to talk to adults that much about stuff, but they would feel more comfortable talking to us.
My name is Zanea Gray, and just to add on to what he said, we also picked this topic because we're teenagers ourselves and we relate to it. So there's so much we could talk about.
My name is Richard Teleria. The reason why we chose this topic was we want kids to be more comfortable to speak to their parents and adults around them. And if you don't feel enough comfortable, we have a social media account. It's right here. You can scan it if you want, or It's T.M.H.105. You can follow it, and there'll be some inspirational words for you.
And you can also text our Instagram page, and we will give you like advice. If you have any questions, you can feel open to talk to us about. And we're also a part of the Starfish Leadership Program, led by Jason Garrett. And we also teamed up with NAMI, the NAMI Foundation, to help us really tackle the fact of teenage mental health. We right now, so far, we're teamed up with mainly athletes of the sorts, to really talk to them about what's bugging them. Because in the beginning of the year, right now it's starting off as a small group where we're just talking about little issues, how we feel like we're too pressured and whatnot. But as of right now, it's grown to a bigger group where it's like more students who aren't even athletes are joining, because it's a free open place where we just feel like it's just a community where we can share thoughts with each other and any advice that we need to give to each other. And then there's also a female section where the girls also come together, and there's one where we all come together as a group.
Thanks for having us today. Have a good day. Peace.
Hi, I'm Kiesha, and my topic of this day is human trafficking. Now, you might not know a lot about human trafficking, but let me tell you, these are just some of the names of the people that have been human trafficked all over U.S., Africa, Asia, whoever. Now, human trafficking, we might not know a lot about it because a lot of media coverage is not done on it. But if we can spread the word, like I said, make a plan, tell another, put that plan into action, tell the world, we can make this into a big and solid foundation where we can spread the word of these people that have been human trafficked. My plan for human trafficking is to spread the word first to you today, to make a solid foundation, then to tell you to tell another so we can spread this word. People that have been human trafficked have been trafficked from jobs, where they're promised a job in another country, and when they get there, they're not promised money, but food and shelter. People have been sexually trafficked, have been trafficked by the police officers, military, and firefighters. Who do we trust now but ourselves? We are only here to survive, but if we can't survive with the help of them, who do we trust? No one but ourselves to help another. And that's what I'm here to tell you.
Hi, my name is Farouk.
My name is Linnell.
And my name is Nimi.
My name is Farouk. Our project for today is sexual harassment. Sexual harassment can be defined as an intimidating and unwelcoming behavior or display of sexual exploitative material to forcibly have sex with a person.
Hi, my name is Nimi. The effects of sexual harassment on its victims. Victims of sexual harassment can suffer significant psychological effects including anxiety, depression, headaches, sleep disorder, weight loss or gain, nausea, low self-esteem, and sexual dysfunction. Thoughts from a victim of sexual harassment. Although it caused me to feel dreadful, fearful, and persistently distressed for a while, I was able to get myself back on track by health and mental guidance from my family and friends. And call to action of sexual harassment. At the start of coming together at either jobs or at home, and also a safe place so people can educate others more about how to prevent sexual harassment and spread awareness all over. And to be a part of any law reforms to show more attention and about sexual harassment that is a really big problem in every part of our world, not just a small section. It also starts from the little things, just like posting about it and talking about facts about it and involving different signs of sexual harassment.
I'm Linnell, and this is a pie chart showing the rate of sexual harassment in the years between 2020 and 2021. And this right here is a statistic showing the rate of attempted rape cases regarding American women in their lifetime. This is 1 out of every 6 American women has been the victim of an attempted or completed rape in her lifetime. 14.8% completed and 2.8 attempted. This right here is nationwide. 81% of women and 43% of men reported experiencing some form of sexual harassment and or assaulted in their lifetime. Giving right there. And yeah, that's it.
My name is Hadia Timberlake, and we're doing institutional racism. So the problem with institutional racism is that it limits people of color in many aspects, such as healthcare, education, and employment. It's a deep-rooted problem that stemmed from slavery, the idea that people of a lighter complexion and of a certain background are superior to black people and any other colored person. A thought from a victim of institutional racism is that we're often gaslighted to believe institutional racism doesn't exist, and the only way to solve the problem is to acknowledge the fact that institutional racism does affect us in many ways.
One way that it affects us, long-term effects, it affects us, it has generational trauma. There's barrier to educational and workplace opportunities. It takes a toll on your mental and physical health. And it also, most importantly, involves the criminal justice system, which is bad. And a more popular example of institutional racism is redlining, which makes banks refuse to lend money to mortgages in communities with large proportions of people of color, which is refusing them because of their skin color, because they're considered hazardous. So our call to action would be advocating for stricter regulations and speaking out against institutionally racist companies, which helps us reach our goal to eventually eliminate the cause.
By scanning this QR code, you'll be able to read more and even donate to eliminate the cause of institutional racism in our schools and workplaces all across the United States.
Hi, my name is Yoretti Hernandez, and this is a board about mental health. You may be asking yourself, why is mental health an important subject and why should we care about it? The reason that we should care about mental health is because it can cause difficulties in the aspect of life, as well as your relationships with family, friends, and communities, which is important. What we can do to take action with this very problematic situation is advocating a safe space, whether in the health center or lunchroom, so people can have a place to calm down and have a free space, as well as posters. There is a lot of help and research you can do regarding the situation, as well as Lifeline. If you are in life or someone else's is in imminent danger, you can call 911, as well as if you're having a crisis and need immediate help, you can also call 988. This is the hotline for National Mental Health, 866-903-3787. And the mental health hotline is a free, confidential 24-hour hotline for anyone who's struggling with depression, anxiety, or any other mental health crisis. How else you can help a person who's struggling with mental health? They can also encourage them to see a therapist or mental health professional. You can also help them to access support services such as supporting groups, and if Americans text or call 988, they are automatically connected to the National Suicide Hotline. You can share this number with someone who is struggling and is having suicide thoughts due to mental illnesses. The risk of suicide has been estimated to be 5 to 8% for severe mental disorders such as depression and mental illnesses. This is an image promoting positive mental health. So as you can see, it says like, hello, my name is, and there's anxiety, phobia, stress, shame, panic, depression, as well as post-traumatic stress. These are all very important and global mental issues. And mental health is a global issue that impacts all types of communities. So not just like here, but they also impact all types of backgrounds and ethnicities in New York City, New York, the United States, and all around the world. This is an image of a graph, which is labeled quantitative data. And it basically just asks one question, and it shows you the graph about it. And the question is, do you believe that addressing mental health is a priority for our community? And as you can see, 80%
voted strongly agree, but a 20% voted agreed. So the overall 100% is that people agree that addressing mental health is a priority for our community.
I'm Yadira Perez, and we chose mental health because it is a strong topic, and we think that people should speak up about it. And if anything, there is the hotline that could help you and that you could go to, that people work 24/7. And this is a poster that we had created for the school, and it is a global, international problem that should be talked about more, and people should have somewhere to go to talk to, and yeah.
Hi, my name is Helen from Curtis High School, and this is my presentation on environmental injustice. I chose to do environmental injustice because I've been working in the climate field for about 4 years now, and I've seen the lack of student engagement, especially high school level on Staten Island, in environmental injustice and in the conversation of it as citywide. So I mainly worked with students at Curtis High School in Port Richmond, and I wanted to figure out which areas or which specific neighborhoods were struggling the most with overheating, excessive heat damage to the streets due to foliage, along with pollution and air quality. So I identified 3 specific spots on Staten Island which students said were the worst. Coming in at number 1 was Richmond Terrace, which runs across the North Shore of Staten Island. Richmond Terrace, it covers 3 different neighborhoods. So people said, for the most part, due to the cars that go back and forth, it's a 2-lane street. Due to the cars, there's a lot of air pollution is one of the big problems there. But also dumping was the biggest issue that we found in terms of environment on Staten Island, which makes sense. We live up to the name. So the intersection of Webster Avenue and Castleton Avenue is an abandoned property. It is very big. I think it's owned by the city now, and has been a place for homeless people and also garbage. And there's no garbage disposals over there. So it's become a ground of dumping on Staten Island, and it really affects the people in the neighborhood who try to keep it clean, but unfortunately that's a bad spot. And also the intersection of Hamilton Avenue and Stuyvesant Place right here in Stapleton was identified as one of the worst because that's where a large amount of restaurants are, and because the students at Curtis and other schools congregate there, there's only one New York City trash disposal there on the street, so a lot of garbage and waste gets put there, and it affects the people that live in the buildings surrounding it. So those were the 3 places that I identified as the worst on Staten Island. And one of the big things was that I noticed that there was a lack of engagement from students at Curtis, Port Richmond, and across the North Shore of Staten Island. So specifically talking about that, I wanted to find if students were interested in that at all, or what their opinion was. And what I found was that a majority, so 40% of students, want to get involved in the fight for environmental justice in New York City, but didn't know how to. And the other 25%, while they did want to get involved, they did already participate in that, and the rest of the kids were not interested. It's not everybody's cup of tea. It's all right. But that says that there is potential for this green movement on Staten Island as long as our politicians, our teachers, and our community invest money into these solutions. So my possible solutions that I found, or what I did to give back to the community, was I had a information session at Curtis High School with 7 different classes where we had an in-school assembly run by Shiv Soyan, the co-executive director of Triage, a youth organization. So he came in and he talks about what that means and what that is for Staten Island, for what is environmental justice on Staten Island. He did a great job getting that out to students. Another thing we did was civic engagement was a big part. So we partnered with the Korean School of Staten Island and Culture Center. They helped us find possible solutions using the People's Money, which is a program going on right now in the city.
Hi, I'm Alyssa Arboleda, and we decided to do our Community Advocacy Project on eating disorders in teenagers. This is the data that we have come up with for eating disorders in teenagers, and eating disorders in our community is a really big issue as we're the most affected by it because students get bullied a lot, and people when they're adults even suffer from this because they're still in recovery. For instance, the gender that is mostly affected is female, but there's also males that are affected by it too. 16% of male and 83% of female. And our qualitative data, eating disorders have started around teenagers that are specifically between the ages of 12 and 14, and they seeked help after 2 years, but for majority of it, like the help didn't really work, and they would like relapse all the time, and it would be really hard on their mental experience. Our qualitative data showed due to the COVID shutdown that a lot of the people that interviewed for us, it affected their mental health, their well-being, and it triggered a lot of their eating disorders. And it would cause them to have a lack of motivation, and it would create this huge impact on their families, because it's not only impactful on themselves, it's impactful on their families too, because the families see how this eating disorder is destroying them little by little. And it's really heartbreaking to see that teenagers go through this all the time. And this issue is directly close to my heart and our hearts, because I have suffered an eating disorder myself, and I know exactly how damaging this can be mentally on your well-being. And our call to action for our community, we created an Instagram account, Real Beauty, Real Health, that makes a positive, meaningful impact, that shows body inspiration, or to love yourself the way that you are. You don't have to become this certain figure or this certain person to love yourself. And these are some images that anorexia nervosa, weight loss, self-esteem, it's all so heartbreaking to see and hear that is in our community. And an eating disorder, in case anybody doesn't know, is a mental health condition characterized by abnormal eating habits that negatively impact a person's physical or mental health. And this is our QR code in case anybody wants to follow the account, so that we can help create a better world for some people.
My name is Lizeth Garcia, and at the end of this, we hope to create informing the public to more supportive bodies, because everyone has their own issues that they go through, and it may not be public to us, but it's very reserved to them. So at the end of this eating disorder, we hope to lift people's spirits up by telling them that they should love themselves the way they are, and they shouldn't change the way they look by any means.
Okay. Hi, my name is Acadia, and this is our project focusing on underage smoking, specifically on vaping/tobacco and weed. And we specifically, with weed, we wanted to focus on weed and vaping, we wanted to focus on how the side effects aren't commonly showcased in, anti-smoking material, which is why we created our own poster that evolved more from just saying don't smoke, and focus more on how it affects your peers with the secondhand smoke, especially in weed, which has shown that secondhand smoke contains THC, which will, it's giving other people who don't consent to being high, you're infecting them with that. And so we also created a Google form where we wanted to see how the student body, how much they're seeing it in schools, especially vaping. And I will be now passing the mic to my partner.
So my name is Sarah. I mainly focus on the vaping, and it includes side effects of synapse become impacted, and you could get pancreatitis even from vaping. And we don't only have high school students vaping, we also have middle schoolers vaping as well. There's an increase on 2023. There was a 6.6% increase of middle school students vaping.
My name's Stephanie, and today we're going to talk about mental health. What is the problem? Mental health is our emotional, psychological being. It affects our thinking, feelings, and action. A significant purpose that leads to issues could be the environment, antisocialness, and bullying. May is Mental Health Month. Preteens and teens often have a high percentage of experiencing mental health problems. 50% of mental health begins at the age of 14. Mental health is a global issue that affects adolescents around the world regarding your gender, race, or religion. Mental health cases increased during the pandemic, showing isolation is an issue of mental health problems.
This is a picture of the pandemic explaining that isolation and the pandemic when COVID-19 was around, that mental health around adolescents and preteens has increased and still have been increasing the numbers during recent times. Call to action. I advocate for programs where children and adolescents have access to safe spaces. There is a QR code where you can scan, where you can help adolescents with resources so they don't end up in jail or homeless. Thank you.
My name is Marilyn, and I'm here talking about child abuse. Child abuse is a big problem here all around the world. It comes in different ways. It's mostly physical abuse. It can also be emotional or sexual abuse. It's most common in Latin America, with 84% of the children there being abused, and second is in Asia with 64%. The highest form of child abuse that's most common is sexual abuse. And it's mostly, sexual abuse is mostly happens to boys rather than girls. It's very important to bring awareness to this because it really does affect people's long-term mental health, and it has long-term effects on people, not only just the victim but the people around them. It can affect how they see people, how they see the world, how their relationships in general. This right here, if you scan this, it will take you to a website where you can report child abuse if you witness any child abuse or you have been abused. It's never too late to report it because it should be taken seriously, since it's a very common problem. More than likely, a lot of people that have been abused or have witnessed abuse. A lot of people don't know what they've been abused until they learn about it. So it's very sad, but it's never too late to know that you were abused or that you have experienced it. For example, witness to violence is very common as well, where if you're a child and you see your parents arguing, it can get physical, and that is a form of abuse.
Hello, I'm Nathaniel Mahone. This is my topic, hostile architecture. It's basically what corporations and the government will do to deter homeless people from sitting down in public spaces instead of addressing the issue, which is affordable housing, safer shelters, and more affordable food. It affects a lot of people. 653,000, I think, is the current date. It means the current number. And the problem is they don't have any political foothold, so a lot of people don't want to help them since they don't get any gain out of it. So what we have to do as people is be more mindful of their situation and volunteer. There's a lot of services that you can join, like the Coalition of Homelessness, or you can go to NYC Services. They list a lot of services that you can enter. And it's not just homelessness. You can do soup kitchens, donate clothes, and just be more mindful of the homeless situation. Instead of being mean to them, you can be like, hey, this place isn't really for seating for homeless people. Could you please maybe move and find a better spot? Or anything that isn't rude, because a lot of people get put down when we say that and don't want to fight back and really better their lives, and so they get stuck in this depressive cycle. The problem is very sad and very subtle, so a lot of people don't focus on it, and it gets to the point where they can't do much about it because of how low it is as a problem to people.
Okay. My name is Kevin Hahn, and I have made my poster board on littering. Litter is everywhere, and I see it every single day. So you can volunteer on a website, specifically on NYC.gov sanitation, with a QR code or with a link. You can search it up on Google and everything. and you basically can volunteer in specific Staten Island areas like the beaches or the streets and clean up litter for absolutely free. You don't really need to bring anything, and everything is provided for you there.
My name is Anaya St. Albord, and today we're going to be talking about domestic violence and the definition of domestic violence. Domestic violence is verbal, physical, and financial and sexual abuse. So, people typically think domestic violence is just physical, but people don't see the verbal aspects of domestic violence and the words and how it affects somebody's mind and it stays with them.
My name is Johanna Neri, and a great call of action that we could do to help people that are suffering with domestic violence is to be less judgmental, to promote empathy and understanding. We can encourage open-mindedness, actively listen to others without jumping into conclusions, and try to put ourselves in someone else's shoes. It's important to remember that everyone has their own unique experiences and struggles, and by being less judgmental, we create a more exclusive and supportive community. Let's strive to be kinder and more compassionate towards one another.
So I'm presenting wild animals issue for community issue because I believe this topic is so nature, because nature created everyone, and it's like no one follows the rules. Like there's a place and there's a different world for animals and humans. So humans should not try to destroy animal world, because end up like animal be start destroying humans. So I end up explaining you should watch always while driving that there's a pet animals that are always running around, and you can hurt them by getting the accident and they can die. So I'm here to tell that stop hunting wild animals, because you are destroying the nature and nature hates it.
This is Dr. Ife, and I'm so excited to be here today with my students. And so right now I have one of my students who has been an advocate of community-based education for the past 2 years. This is Deandra, and she's going to talk about her project.
Hello, my name is Deandra, and the issue me and my group are discussing today is smoking, mainly smoking within schools. Over the course of like the past 15, 20 years, smoking has been like a really big issue within the community, and with its rising popularity, it traveled into the younger generation and into the schools as well. So we took a chart, and like on it you can tell like when certain products spiked in popularity and when their popularity dropped over the course of years, especially during COVID times. Because during COVID, tobacco products went down about 5%, while popularity within electric cigarettes spiked upwards within like the course of COVID. And then another big problem is a lot of students here in Curtis, they smoke, they vape, they do drugs, and they don't seem to like be aware of the effect it can have on them growing up. Cause when you're in your adolescent years, your brain isn't fully developed yet, and so smoking as an adolescent can like have long-lasting health effects as you grow older. And I feel like it's really important for people to be aware of that. So this is all like to make them aware, and like to hopefully drop the rate of smoking in teenagers.
So I just want to ask, what are your thoughts about doing this type of project as a school assignment?
I feel like it's something really important, and it like lets students have their voice heard on like their opinions on things in their community and how they can change for the better.
I just want to say thank you so much for being a part of this and educating the community on smoking. Thank you.
My name is Jaden Gordon, and I did a project about drug use in schools and in the community. So as you see here, as you see here, drug use can be, people use it because of their childhood, could be what they went through when they was younger, and it shows how you could fix it and stuff. As you see, we got some photos of what can happen when you use it or what it looks like. And we got some statistics here about people that use it and how much times how it could cause death and stuff. And just showing the juveniles how it affects juveniles and people in the community. Yeah, I just stay away from it. I don't like it. It's not a good thing.